This is Dani Deahl from Chicago, and you're on ActLiveMusic.com.
Hi, Dani Deahl.
Hi. Ooh, super zoom in.
So how was your show last night in Rochester?
It was awesome. People were really into it. Super into it. It was a lot of fun.
Like Rochester while you were here or anything?
Yeah, I did. I was really pleasantly surprised by how vibrant the existing music scene was, which is something that I honestly wasn't expecting. But it was very cool, it was very refreshing to see that there was so much going on in this town, so much. And people were really receptive to new music, to listening to what the up-and-coming stuff is, rather than the things that they've heard a million times.
The people in Rochester, the majority of the people that are reading this site right now, tell us a little bit more about what you do. I mean, you're a DJ, but what else do you do? I mean, you've got your hands in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I've been a DJ for 10 years, but I also write. I do a lot of music journalism, so I tend to only write about things that sort of relate back to what I do in house and electro indie. So I write for Herb magazine, URB, not HERB, and Time Out Chicago, and a couple other publications. I used to write for New City, BPM, all these things. So it's a lot of fun because I get to pick the brains of people like David Guetta, Perry Farrell, Tiga, see what makes them tick. And I also run my own record label with my partner Scott Richmond, who was the founder of Satellite Records in New York. And then I run a blog, B Squared, where you can always get the freshest electro tracks for free.
So tell us a little bit about maybe the new single you have, or what is the new single you have? Tell us a little bit about it.
Cotton Bottles has been out for some time, but everyone still loves it and requests it. I have another track that I'm finishing up right now, which is a little Dutch inspired, and it's got some disco loops, so it's kind of a fusion of a couple of things that are going on right now. And then I have a third track that's also on the verge of being completed, which is a little more in the vein of Pop Bottles with the Devo vocal on it, so I'm very excited about that. So we'll see. I'm thinking the next one will actually come out on my label instead of an alternate one.
Is there anybody is there anybody of mention that maybe your artist or your label is looking at right now? Any new artists that you guys are picking up?
You know, we're really trying to work with our existing artists at the moment, especially Pilot Priest. We're giving a lot of attention to him. He's just got such an incredible body of existing material. The man is an artistic genius, to put it simply. I mean, this is a guy who left high school for 2 years so that he could teach himself how to play guitar because he just wanted to do it. So we're trying to put a lot of focus and emphasis on his single that's out right now, Zipper, and then getting the next singles out.
So you actually do some sort of development with these artists, which is kind of rare nowadays?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, how do you feel about that and the lack of development with artists nowadays?
Yeah, I think I don't think there's necessarily a lack of development with artists. I think it's split in the genres, because if you look at the major labels or rock-based labels, they still definitely are in the business of artist development. It's fractured within the electronic community because we're based so much around the concept of singles rather than albums.
Right.
So, you sign one track, you sell your 400 copies or whatever, and then it's whatever else you pick up. But I think a lot of labels are starting to go back to building families.
Yeah.
If you look at, Potty Mouth Music or Fool's Gold, they have a family of artists, and they are releasing multiple songs from each of those artists. And I think labels are starting to go back to seeing the benefit of working with the same people over and over again and helping them develop their sound.
Is there any advice that you could give to young DJs, even young female DJs out there, but not just female DJs. I mean, DJs in general on this business. Any myths that maybe you could do away with in regards to selling your music or getting your music out there, or what it's all about? You know what I mean? You're not out here making millions, you know, per singles. You know what I mean? You're grinding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember back when you actually had to mail out your demo to promoters years ago, and I would actually mail out, you know, 50, 100 copies to promoters, and that's how I got to play in places like Hong Kong or Bolivia or any of these other places. And people would always ask me, God, well, you know, how do you get to do it? How do you travel? How do you get to go to all these places? I'm like, you know what? I spent a week making 100 demos and mailing them out, and I got 97 no's and 3 yeses.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that there's no magic formula, right? It's the same with any artistic endeavor. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you treat it like a career, it'll reward you as such, for most people. Hey, this is Dani Deahl from Chicago. If you want to find out more about me, go to my website, DaniDeahl.com. That's DaniDeahl.com.